What is up, everybody? Welcome to Wednesday. You know what that means. It's the news edition. And listen, Chuck doesn't just find top news stories. He finds all kinds of crazy shit that is happening in the world, in the United States, wherever. But there is always some wild stuff happening. So let's get into it. It's time to get casually uncomfortable. News Edition with your host, Chuck Jerome. Viewer discretion is advised. All right. Like I said, we're going to jump right into it. First article, I'm going to call that fitness because this guy out in Philadelphia, and I'm telling you, Philly's a wild place. You don't want to be fucking with people out in Philly. I've told stories when I went to Philly a few times. You know, I didn't have any crazy happenings, but I could see where shit would start to get nuts. So this guy, he didn't pay his Planet Fitness bill. He went in to try and use the facilities. The guy at the desk said, buddy, you ain't using shit because you haven't paid for it. You got to pay to play, baby. And the guy was banned subsequently. Now, this guy's so pissed off. He like, you know what? I'm going to leave. And then the next day he comes back. He's like, you know what? Fuck you. He comes back once. He gets shooed away. And then he comes back a second time. And then he fucking stabs the worker. This is what's going on in the world right now. Planet Fitness, not even the best fucking gym. And you're ready to take a life over that fucking place. The fucking place that will, charge you out the ass. Listen, they are waiting. Honestly, it's not charging out the ass. What their whole business model is, they don't want the people that come in all the time and work out properly, and they give them a bad name and a bad rep, and they call them lunks. Right? They don't want the lunks in there. They want your fat ass in there who's not going to stay consistent, and that's less strain on the machines, meaning they keep more money in their fucking pockets because your ass ain't in there. But they're still taking money from you. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you're going to go and get an attempted murder charge over a place that really doesn't care about you. And I'm fine to say that. Look, I have Planet Fitness. They feast off of me. I don't go every week, every day like I should. But they're still taking that fucking $20. And now since everything's raised, it's like $23. But yeah, a fucking attempted murder charge because your account was past due. Hey, that's the world we're living in, folks, so be careful out there. They're stabbing people for shit that they did themselves. So, I just don't know what to say. And now we drop down and take it on over to Florida, because there's always some wild shit in Florida. The joke that they always said was, I think it was, put your name and then Florida after it. And it would always give some wild shit. It was either put your name or maybe put how you died in Florida. How I die in Florida. And it's always something crazy. Alligators, zombies. Yeah. Some of the people don't even remember. Some people ain't even old enough to remember when they had that fucking zombie drug and people were eating motherfuckers' faces off. Ooh. Dude, that was probably 10, 15 years ago. Maybe. I don't know. Probably 20 at this point. I don't know, but I'll talk about that. I'll probably talk about that on this upcoming Monday episode. All right, but back to the story. This is called Good Samaritan. This guy sees another guy on the side of the road after he had hit a guardrail. And the guy that was in the accident, he gets out of his car. He's woozy. He hits the ground. And this is all captured on the Good Samaritan's Tesla camera. And that's the one good thing about Teslas. They fucking have cameras. Every car should have a camera just for safety purposes, because people are out there to try and take your money. So the guy that was in the accident, he's woozy. He hits the ground. The Tesla guy pulls up. The guy that was in the accident miraculously just pops back up and then charges the Tesla. Jumps on the hood, jumps on the windshield. And the guy, the Good Samaritan, gets out of his vehicle. The guy that was in the accident beats the ever-loving shit out of the Good Samaritan. And it says he had brain bleed, a concussion, 4 broken ribs, and a medical bill that would just fucking make you just wanna. And they said, and there's video of this from the Tesla, the guy in the accident beat the Good Samaritan for a solid 30 fucking seconds. And then the police show up. The guy is still being a fucking menace. And then the Tesla driver helped arrest and apprehend the fucking guy that was attacking him, who was in the accident. And now this guy who was just a good fucking Samaritan is in the hospital, who was already living check to check, and now he's struggling. So he's got a GoFundMe page, and I hope he gets all he needs and fucking then some. But this is why people don't want to be good Samaritans. They'd rather record from a distance, and hey, if you need this footage, I'll fucking email it to you, but I'm not getting involved because I'm not trying to get stabbed or beat half to death. So good luck and Godspeed to that Good Samaritan. And this article is titled All the Same Food, which is the title of this episode, because guess what? Now it is really going to be all the same food, because Cisco, the nation's largest food distributor, will acquire Restaurant Depot in a deal worth more than $29 billion. So if you weren't getting your food from Cisco, you were getting your food from Restaurant Depot. Now, Cisco owns Restaurant Depot, and Cisco serves more than 700,000 restaurants, hospitals, schools, and fucking hotels. And they supply them with everything. Everything. Then it says Restaurant Depot was founded in Brooklyn in 1976, and it had become the nation's largest cash and carry wholesaler. And I looked up what cash and carry wholesaler means. It's a self-service warehouse selling goods in bulk at discounted prices directly to business owners. So now when you see videos, which I've seen on, Instagram and TikTok saying, hey, all this food that we get, it's the same fucking food. The shit you get from Burger King, from fucking probably McDonald's and Wendy's and Cheesecake Factory and fucking what's that one place? Hosses and shit like that. Chris Ruth's or whatever the fuck that place is. It's all the same shit coming from Cisco. That was the story. Hey, listen, we're just paying different prices for the same damn thing. But now it's all going to be the same damn thing for real. No more jokes. So, damn. What is that going to do to their stock? I need to check that out. I don't fuck around with too many stocks, but yeah, shit's going to go up. Shit's going to go up. And I don't know. And something said, hey, Chuck, go ahead and Google about Cisco and their stocks after this acquisition. It says Cisco's acquisition of Restaurant Depot announced on March 30th caused shares to fall initially around 12 to 13% due to heavy debt financing and dilution concerns. While long-term synergies are projected, immediate pressure from debt and paused share buybacks suggest volatile short-term stock performance. So, I don't know. Now, listen, I'm not the stock guy, so if you go out and get yourself some stocks, that's on you. But just do your research, because it don't look like it's going to do too well. All right, let's keep moving. And this one's called John Cena. I don't have that sound bite because I'd definitely be using it. But it's talking about, and I saw the video. It was actually pretty rough to watch. John Cena is sitting at this cafe somewhere, and this dude walks up to him and starts singing Invisible String, which is a song by Taylor Swift. And this dude barely got the words out. And then John Cena jumped up on his feet and he was like, because you're sitting down, you're relaxing, you're doing your thing, and then some bitch just jumps up, starts singing it to you. You're definitely going to try and squash that shit right then and there. So he jumps up to his feet and he goes, hey, let's start with hello. Nice to meet you. I'm John. Would you like to sing now? And the guy's like, "What? Why are you singing?" He's like, "What purpose?" And the guy was like, "Hey, I just like singing to people." And John was like, "Well, I'm not buying what you're selling." And then that was that. The guy fucking walked away and went on about his day. And now he's become fucking internet famous. And this article even talks about how John Cena is all about his manners. Use your fucking manners. If you want something, ask for it. Then, if it'll work out, the person that you ask will say yes or no. But don't just fucking run up to someone, start singing as they're trying to just enjoy their fucking day. That's for anybody. Famous, not famous, just leave motherfuckers alone. And if you wanted to sing, there was a proper, positive way to do that instead of just running up to this son of a bitch and just, doing whatever the fuck you want to do. So, don't be doing that. Because if you had gotten the fucking right celebrity, you would have been cussed the fuck out. But again, John Cena still is using his manners, even though he was visibly fucking annoyed. This article is called Bonnie Bump, and it's talking about Bonnie Blue, that fucking porn star that had sex with all those fucking dudes. And I didn't really talk about it because, that's whatever. Live your life. Do your thing. But what I kept seeing online was, oh, she kept saying she's pregnant. Oh, she's pregnant by one of these fucking 100, 400 fucking men that she had sex with in one day. I don't remember the number. I'm not watching the tape. I don't really give a fuck. But there were videos out there of her saying, oh, I'm pregnant. Guess who the father is? And guess what? Come to find out, it was all a publicity stunt. And it says it generated over 1 million. Sorry, excuse me. I needed to add a few more zeros there. 100 million views and roughly 1 million in earnings. And then on April 1st, she showed a video of her with a silicone baby bump that was used in her videos. There's some shady motherfuckers out there. Some nasty, shady motherfuckers out there. Shady, nasty. Oh, man. Probably and definitely had all those guys just sweating. And then wondering, all that fucking sperm up in her, they were wondering what kind of fucking mutant baby was going to come out of her body. Dude, she was just a fucking, ugh. That come on, man. What is happening in the world? Lying bitch. Seriously, I can only imagine what those guys were thinking. Like, oh no. What am I going to tell my wife or my girlfriend? Oh no. I got a porn star pregnant after she had sex with 400 people. Hold on. I got to see what that number is. Hold on. Okay, so I looked this up. It says the first time was January 2025, where it was 1,057 men in 12 hours. And it doesn't say if, any protection was used, but it also says it would roughly have been 30 to 45 seconds with each person. Okay? And then the 400 plus in one day was in February 2026. So not too long ago. And that is where she had unprotected sex with, a little over 400 men in one fucking day. Listen, that is some nasty shit. That's too much. Unprotected? No way. Yeah, all right, listen, I'm going to keep moving on because I don't even want to talk about this nasty bitch anymore. So this article is called The Dentist, and it's talking about this guy who went to the dentist for, a routine appointment and dental checkup. And then he was rushed to the hospital after his gums were severely inflamed and bleeding following the routine visit. And his teeth and gums were so fucked up after he went to the doctor that he developed sepsis. And it entered his bloodstream through the inflamed gums. And it was so bad to the fucking point that it led to them amputating 3 of his limbs and his right hand to stop the spread of the infection. And this was after a fucking routine visit. Wasn't like, oh, I'm going in for a root canal. No, they were just, checking shit up. And now the guy has body parts, multiple body parts cut off. Holy shit. I just hope dude gets better really, really soon. Wow. Be careful out there. Go to, a reputable doctor, a dentist, doctor, whoever you need to go to for checkups. You fucking make sure they are reputable. Don't just go somewhere because everything's so expensive right now. Because guess what? When they fuck you up, your medical bills from the hospital will be extra expensive. Believe that. Well, last week I talked about the Lion King composer suing that comedian. And this week we got more suing. So now, and this is as of April, the choreographer for Bye 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 is suing Sony because Sony allowed the dance for Bye 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 to be used all over the place in the Marvel movies, on Fortnite. And this guy that actually created it isn't getting his royalties. And he's like, no, this isn't going to happen. You're not doing this because this motherfucker won an MTV Video Music Award for Best Choreography for his work on the 2000 Bye 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 music video. 2000. That's how fucking old that song is. 26 years. Holy shit, man. I'm getting old. But yeah, all these people want are their fucking royalties and the fucking respect that they deserve. So I hope this guy gets what he wants, how he wants it, and he just goes on with his life. Because damn, if someone could take something from you and call it their own or try and sell it to somebody else and be slick and shady about it, you better believe that they are going to try to do that. And that's a damn shame. So I hope it all works out for him. All right, now this is going to be the last article, and this is called Parallel Parking. Because this woman went on TikTok and aired out the fact that she was upset that a group of guys were just watching her parallel park. Well, try to parallel park. And as soon as I saw this article, it made me feel some sort of way because I was recently at the MVA and I just so happened to see them doing the driving test for new drivers now. And I'm telling you, it ain't shit. Imagine you're in a rectangle. Fuck it. Let's just make it a square so you don't have to worry or think too hard, But they pull up at the top left of the rectangle. Sorry, the square. And they move from the top left to the top right. And that simulated just driving straight. And then once they got to the top right, they backed into a spot that was in the right quadrant of this square. Okay? Now they backed into a spot. Next to that spot, I saw a long perpendicular line that would simulate a sidewalk, and then parallel lines that would simulate a space on the side of the road to parallel park in. I thought that they would have pulled out of that spot that they backed into, back up a couple of feet, and then simulate parallel parking. No, the fuck they did not. They pulled out of that spot, made a right, and went out and around the square, and then went directly on the road for the on-road portion of the driving test. And I hope that visual was all right for you. But I'm thinking, dude, I had to jump through fucking hoops to get my license. There was no 3-point turn. There was no backing up in a straight line. There was no parallel parking. All you had to do was back into a spot. That's cool that they're teaching people to back into a spot. I think that's a very valuable thing to learn. But so is parallel parking. And everybody's like, oh, I'm scared to parallel park because, people are watching, the streets are busy, there's increased stress and a risk of having a mistake happen and hit someone's car. Dude, listen. Now, I get it. Look, I've been parallel parking for years. I can. The trick is, fuck those people behind you. If you have put your turn signal on, indicating that you are going to get into that spot, then guess what? All they can do is either fucking wait or go the fuck around you. Or wait. That's one thing you learn when you're parallel parking. Patience and fuck the people behind you. Because if you did it properly, you didn't slam on your brakes and then start backing up, that's one thing. But if you gave ample time for someone to react and understand, they're turning here to park in that spot, then look, take all the time you need, bucko. Seriously, fuck those people behind you. And that's what people, I'm so stressed out about parallel parking. Dude, you get into the big cities and shit, you're going to have to. Or you're going to be parking fucking 4, 5, 6 blocks away. So you better have the right shoes on. But if you got a prime spot and you can parallel park, then get y'all bitch ass in there. So it just drives me crazy. They don't have to do anything to drive anymore. So they're just at this point, they're really just handing fucking driver's licenses out like Halloween candy. And it's scary. So be safe out there, folks. Be fucking safe. And with that, Chuck is out of here. I'm going to get ready. I got shit to do. I got shit to study. I'm making it happen. And I hope you are too. And if you're not, hop to it, motherfucker. It's time to do the damn thing, okay? All right, hit my music. Don't forget, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Casually Uncomfortable, Twitter at Casually Unchuck. Let your friends know. All right, I'll see you next week. Be safe, have fun, don't be a piece of shit. Thank you, and bye-bye.